Alright, hopping right back into it. Track number 8 is Electricityscape. I'm not missing something, am I? Oh, I think it's like Cityscape, but electric. That is the only title so far that I don't like. So, hopefully I can say different for the song. I will give it credit where credit is due, though. Effort was put in. Oh, you're gonna hit me like that right away? Them drums? Fab killing it on the drums. That is hitting me different this time. The transition from like light sounds to dark sounds. Some really solid melodies on this track. Okay. I don't have a lot to say about that song. It was fine. Like I said, I really liked and appreciated the drumming on that track. That was pretty nice. It kind of seemed like he was talking about fame. If you'll allow me to reach a bit, because I'm reaching a little bit here, it kind of sounded like it was about like a romantic relationship and how fame was impacting that. The whole, you belong on the radio, you belong to the city, kind of giving me that vibe. Yeah, not one of my favorites though. Number 9 is Killing Lies. Sweet little chords. Julian is way buried in the mix again, and I kind of hate that it's not entirely consistent that way. The vocal harmony and instrumental harmony don't really seem to be matching up very well. Kind of nice, but I'm just kind of drifting out here. Nothing's really grabbing me. Yeah, there's just not really a lot impressive about this chorus. Oh, thank God, vocal switch up, finally. That's kind of nice. It was just a little bit too simple instrumentally and lyrically to really keep me all that invested the whole way through. I'm just feeling really mid on that one. I think it would have been a lot better as an interlude, like a minute and a half, simple slow down track. But you know what? I give him credit, because really this is the first time I've heard a Strokes song and like actually disliked it. Fear of Sleep is the title of track number 10 we're at, and I already relate to the title, so I'm down. Where are you, Julian? Are you in the next room over? What does that mean? Okay. That makes a little more sense. Care to elaborate? Alright. Just say the same words. It sounds really good. I just need some variety here. I feel that. Sounds really good. I kind of like that. Really putting some passion into it. Okay. The repetition of words that he was saying, "You're no fun," and "Fear of Sleep," just don't tie in at all with the verses from what I can pick up on. Maybe this is something that's going to hit me differently, or I'm going to interpret it differently at a different time, but for the time being, I didn't really get anything out of that. The verses were fine. I found the second verse to be very relatable. That's about it. This is really chill. The drumming on here again, super nice. It's really calming. Alright, it's picking up. He's really channeling his inner Kurt Cobain on this part. Wow, that paid off really well. I like the direction of that one quite a bit. It was really creative to kind of have the whole numeric-based lyricism. It sounds like just a lot of talk of somebody being really stressed out, really kind of dejected, bogged down by their problems. I think that's a really smart idea to write something about feeling like everything's kind of counting down. Had a really good payoff too, because it started off really calming and then just kind of built up from there. Track number 12 is Eyes. I think it's Eyes. Eyes of the World. That's a pun, isn't it? I don't know what eyes means. Yeah, that's... Well, I feel stupid. Regardless, let's get into this. Okay, a little bit of a switch up here. That didn't flow well at all. A little bit more passion there, alright. Oh, the closing of that track was pretty clever. Cutting off the line cities to vaporize. I like that quite a bit. That track was decent. Once again, I see this as another kind of oddball society / political oriented tracks. It seems like if there is one, it's always just kind of thrown in there somewhere. It doesn't really fit with the rest of the album. But, I mean, I'm okay with that one. It's just kind of talking about growing up to fit into society, to be just another piece of the working machine that it is. I'm hoping in these last two tracks I get more reinvested, because something needs to stand out to me. But the last parts of a lot of the other Strokes albums is where I get more pulled in. So I'm hoping that happens here as well. Evening Sun is the second to the last track, track number 13. Okay, maybe this one's more societally angled. That sounds so weird. It's really strange. Maybe this is about being manipulated. Yeah, that's clever. I'm hoping this explodes. No! Ah. I'm kinda let down. Does this have to be this melancholic? That had what I think is really some of the best lyrical content that we've really seen across the entire album. It seems like it was just speaking about getting manipulated, whether that be about people you personally know or just society at large. And that's what I was getting from that the whole way through, but it was mentioned in really clever ways, and I kind of kept noticing that all throughout listening to it. But the sound of that was just not engaging. Unfortunately, I was really hoping it would do something. It just didn't though, it just stayed really stagnant. Alright, final track, Red Light. Nice drum rhythm. Alright. Again, the pairing of really dark lyrics with really bright instrumental. Oh, that's really weird. Man, are people gonna hate me for not liking this as much? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. Because I wanted this to be a masterpiece. Really all I'm getting from this is more commercialized, more cleaned up sounding Strokes music with less of a cohesive theme than the two albums prior, more radio friendly kind of sound, and a very bloated album. I feel like at least 4 tracks could be cut from that. That didn't do a whole lot for me, and I wish it did a lot more for me, but that whole second half, I wasn't engaged. Alright, jump cut to 2 days later. I have replayed this album a pretty great number of times at this point because I've been trying to get this second half, but it's just not really happening for me, and that's because every time I do this, unless I sit down and very closely analyze what I'm hearing, it's so hard not to space out, especially on these last 2 songs. The second half of this record just is not engaging enough to pique my interest. And unfortunately, I feel like that's probably where most of the criticism of this album comes in. It just sounds like a very radio-friendly version of what the Strokes already had to offer once the first half of this album is gone. I do think that there's a lot of compelling lyrics on this second half, which is the really unfortunate thing, is I think it has the more compelling lyrics, except the music to match them just doesn't really do anything for me. And it's because I keep expecting these to build to do something with the runtime that they're being given, except they just kind of don't really go anywhere. And finally, I just want to make it very clear that I don't hate this album. It's just that it frustrates me because I think that it could be one of my favorite albums if it was just executed a little bit differently. Upon further listens, On the Other Side and Razorblade have actually became songs that I'd probably put in my top 5 for the Strokes. So as it stands, this thing is 14 songs long and 52 minutes long, which I believe I mentioned in part 1, which also, as far as I'm aware, is the longest Strokes album and has the most tracks out of any Strokes album. So I made myself a playlist. Everything from track number 1, You Only Live Once, all the way down to Vision of Division is the same. It stays the same way that it was, but then the second to the last song following Vision of Division is Electricityscape, and the very final track is Eyes of the World. I'm going to pretend that it is a 30-minute, 8-track album, because this album is awesome. This is probably an 8+ out of 10. I'd say if you look at it just like that, that's just as good as Room on Fire. However, the actual thing is more like a 6+ out of 10. Hopefully nobody hates me for not loving a Strokes album for the first time ever. I am going to be reacting to Angles and Come Down Machine, as well as some of the Voids projects, and the EP as well. I'm really interested to see what else the Strokes has to offer to us, and like I said, I did really like some certain parts of this album, but as a whole thing, it just doesn't keep me interested. But subscribe if you are new and you want to see the rest of my thoughts on the Strokes discography, as we're gonna dive further into it in a few more videos. Hit that like button if you did enjoy what you saw today, but that's just about gonna wrap it up for this one, and I will see you in the next video.